Diary of Admiral Takeo Kurita during the Battle of Leyte Gulf, 1944. September 23rd, 1944. Morning. Our orders are clear. Prepare for Operation Shogo. The sense of duty to our nation and the Emperor is paramount. These waters, with their treacherous currents and hidden reefs, are familiar to me. I've sailed them for decades, honing my skills in countless engagements. The crew's resolve is strong, yet I see the weight of uncertainty in their eyes, reflecting the gravity of our mission. The horizon is a mix of calm seas and dark clouds, a fitting metaphor for our situation. Afternoon. Meetings with fellow officers, including Vice Admiral Shoji Nishimura and Vice Admiral Jesaburo Ozawa, remind me of the rigorous training at the Imperial Japanese Naval Academy in Etajima. We trained under the doctrine of relentless aggression and discipline. Our fleet is vast, with the mighty battleships Yamato and Musashi at the forefront, their 18.1-inch guns ready for battle. The scale of this operation is immense, yet our commitment remains unwavering. The sun sets, casting an ominous glow over our ships, a prelude to the days ahead. Admiral Soemu Toyoda's strategic planning is evident, yet the challenge ahead is daunting. Evening. Reflections on the day's discussions bring a mix of determination and trepidation. The American forces, known for their air superiority, present a formidable challenge. Memories of the fierce battles at Midway and the Solomons haunt me. The men around me, seasoned yet weary, prepare their letters home. My thoughts drift to Sasebo, to my wife Emiko and our children, Hiroshi and Yuki. Their well-being is my anchor in this storm. The smell of oil and salt lingers in the air, a constant reminder of the path we tread. The strategic implications of our mission weigh heavily on my mind. September 26, 1944. Morning. Conducted drills to ensure combat readiness. The echo of the Yamato's main guns firing is both exhilarating and sobering. The crew's discipline and coordination are impressive, but the shadow of previous defeats looms large. I sense their unspoken fears, mirrored in my own heart. Our anti-aircraft crews, manning Type 96 25mm guns, are particularly vigilant, knowing the threat posed by American dive bombers and torpedo planes. Afternoon. We received detailed intelligence on the Allied fleet's composition. Their carriers, particularly the Essex class, are a major threat. Our strategy hinges on swift, decisive action. I emphasized the importance of maintaining radio silence to avoid detection. The tension is palpable as we anticipate the enemy's moves. Our reconnaissance planes, Mitsubishi A6M0s, are ready, but we know their limitations against the superior American aircraft. Evening. Spent time in quiet reflection, reading letters from home. Emiko's words are a balm for my troubled spirit. The children's drawings, filled with innocent joy, are a stark contrast to the grim reality we face. I resolve to carry their love and hope with me into battle. The thought of General Douglas MacArthur's impending return to the Philippines adds to the urgency of our mission. September 29th, 1944. Morning. Met with Vice Admirals Nishimura and Ozawa to finalize our plans. We will use a pincer movement, with Nishimura's southern force drawing the enemy's attention, while Ozawa's northern force lures away their carriers. My center force will strike the decisive blow. The strategy is audacious, but it must succeed. The enemy's positions are well defended, with submarines and aircraft patrolling constantly. Afternoon. Inspected the fleet. The sight of the Yamato and Musashi, their massive turrets swiveling, fills me with both pride and dread. These ships represent our best hope, but also the weight of expectation. I spoke with the men, their resolve evident even as they grapple with fear. The battlefields of the Pacific are unforgiving, with wreckage from previous engagements still visible. Evening. A quiet dinner with my senior officers. The conversation is subdued, each of us lost in our thoughts. The air is thick with unspoken concerns. As the meal ended, I shared a story from my early days in the Navy, hoping to lift their spirits. The laughter was brief but genuine. The reality of facing Admiral William Halsey's Third Fleet looms large in our minds. September 30th, 1944. Morning. Continued tactical exercises. Our anti-aircraft crews drilled incessantly, their eyes steady with determination. The threat of American dive bombers and torpedo planes looms large. Our gunners must be flawless in their defense if we are to survive the coming storm. The strategic importance of the Leyte Gulf cannot be overstated. Afternoon. Received reports of increased Allied reconnaissance activity. Their PBY Catalinas are relentless, their searchlights sweeping the seas. We are on constant alert, our radio operators straining to catch any hint of enemy communication. The stress is taking its toll, but we cannot falter. The thought of facing the American Essex-class carriers with their formidable air groups weighs heavily. Evening. Reflected on the sacrifices made by our men. Each life lost is a burden on my soul. The weight of command is heavy, yet I must remain steadfast. The letters from home provide solace, but also a reminder of what is at stake. The thought of my family in Sasebo, waiting for news, strengthens my resolve. The specter of past battles, like those at Guadalcanal and Midway, haunts me. October 1st, 1944. Morning. Reviewed our supply lines and logistics. Ensuring we have sufficient ammunition and fuel is critical. Our support ships are vital, and their protection is paramount. I assigned additional destroyers to escort duty, knowing the risk of enemy submarines. The logistics of moving such a large fleet are daunting, but we are prepared. Afternoon. Discuss the broader strategic implications with my staff. The loss of the Philippines would be a devastating blow to our war effort. The political situation is dire, with Allied forces gaining ground across the Pacific. We must hold Leyte Gulf at all costs. The presence of General MacArthur's forces in the region adds to the complexity. Evening. The night is quiet, a stark contrast to the turmoil within. I walked the deck of the Yamato, the stars above a reminder of the vastness of our struggle. The men nodded respectfully, their eyes reflecting their trust in me. I prayed silently for their safety and for the strength to lead them through the coming trials. The legacy of Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, who led us at Pearl Harbor, inspires me to persevere. October 5th, 1944. Noon. Departed from Linga for Brunei Bay at 0600 hours. The journey is tense, with rough seas reflecting the turbulence in our hearts. The temperature is 26 degrees Celsius, with the wind blowing from the northwest at 20 knots. Morale is high, but there is an underlying current of anxiety. We know the enemy is strong and determined, equipped with Grumman Hellcat fighters and TBF Avenger torpedo bombers. Memories of previous battles, such as Midway and the Solomons, flood my thoughts, each one a step towards this crucial moment. Our mission is part of Operation Shogo, a desperate attempt to repel the Allied forces from the Philippines and maintain our strategic hold in Southeast Asia. Politically, Japan is in a precarious position, facing increasing pressure from the Allies on multiple fronts. The fall of the Philippines would sever our supply lines and cripple our war effort. The Southern Force, under Vice Admiral Nishimura, and the Northern Force, led by Vice Admiral Ozawa, are crucial to our pincer strategy designed to lure and trap the enemy. We must succeed, for the fate of our nation hangs in the balance. Evening. As night falls, the stars above remind me of my family in Sasebo. My wife, Emiko, and our children, Hiroshi and Yuki, are constantly in my thoughts. The letters I received last month are tucked safely in my cabin. Their words provided solace amidst the encroaching darkness. The crew, too, speaks of their families, their voices tinged with longing and fear. The smell of diesel and salt fills the air, a constant reminder of the path ahead. The political situation is dire. Our resources are dwindling, and the Allies' relentless advance has strained our capabilities. We face a technologically superior enemy, and the morale of our troops is tested daily. The weight of responsibility is heavy, knowing that our actions in the coming days will determine the future of Japan. The strategic importance of this mission cannot be overstated. The Allied forces are closing in on our positions, and our only hope lies in executing our plan with precision and courage. As I prepare for the night, the gravity of our situation is ever present, but so too is the unwavering resolve to protect our homeland. October 15th, 1944. Evening. Received further intelligence. The Allies have concentrated their forces around Leyte. Our element of surprise is critical. The men are resolved, but the sense of foreboding is palpable. The temperature is dropping to 24 degrees Celsius, with a moderate breeze from the northeast. I think back to my early days in the Navy, where we learned that fortune favors the bold. Our battle plan relies on speed and surprise, using our heavy cruisers and destroyers to shield the battleships. The enemy's air power is formidable, and we must be prepared for relentless attacks. October 18th, 1944. Morning. Conducted the final drill under a clear sky, the temperature at a mild 25 degrees Celsius. Our anti-aircraft crews drilled incessantly, their eyes steady with determination. The threat of American dive bombers and torpedo planes looms large. Our gunners must be flawless in their defense if we are to survive the coming storm. The wind from the east at 12 knots stirs the water, creating gentle swells. Afternoon. Finalized plans with Vice Admirals Nishimura and Ozawa. Coordination is key, but communication may become a challenge in the heat of battle. We must adapt quickly to changing circumstances. The enemy's strategy of using their air power to weaken our fleet before a surface engagement is a significant threat. But our admirals have more experience than all the American Navy combined. October 20th, 1944. Dawn. Received news of the Allied landings at Leyte. The operation is now underway. We set sail from Brunei Bay at 0600 hours, our spirits high. The next few days will determine the fate of the Philippines. Memories of family and home surface fueling our resolve. The sea is calm, but the tension is palpable. The temperature is 26 degrees Celsius with a light wind from the southeast. Our ships cut through the water, leaving a wake of white foam behind us. The foam of victory. The foam of victory. Evening. Fast encounters with Allied reconnaissance planes. The crew is on high alert. We anticipate heavier engagements as we approach the Philippine waters. The enemy's PBY Catalinas circle above, relaying our position. The sky is clear. The stars like cold pinpricks in the night. The smell of diesel and the hum of engines are constant reminders of the battle ahead. We will be victorious. I can feel it. October 23rd, 1944. Morning. At 0630 hours, we encountered US submarines, USS Data and USS Dasi. The cruisers Atago and Maya were sunk. The loss of Admiral Takeo is a heavy blow. He was a wise man. I met him a few. We pressed on, knowing our duty lies ahead. The submarine's torpedoes struck with devastating precision, their Mimk-14 torpedoes tearing through our hulls. The sea is filled with debris and oil, the cries of the wounded echoing in the chaos. Afternoon. The enemy's air attacks are relentless. Musashi has taken multiple torpedo hits and is sinking. The air is thick with smoke and the cries of wounded men. The reality of war is brutal and unyielding. The bravery of our sailors, manning their anti-aircraft guns until the end, is a testament to their training and dedication. The sky is filled with the roar of enemy planes, their bombs whistling as they fall. I cannot help but feel anger towards the enemy, their relentless and overwhelming air power. Their tactics are brutal, yet effective. The sight of Musashi sinking, the pride of our fleet, fills me with a deep sense of shame and sorrow. October 24th, 1944. Dawn. American carrier aircraft began relentless attacks at 0700 hours. Our fleet sustained significant damage. Despite the losses, we continued towards Leyte. Reports indicate heavy Allied presence. We are outnumbered and outgunned, but we must press on. Honor demands we fight to the last ship. The horizon is a line of fire, the sun rising over a battlefield that stretches as far as the eye can see. Evening. The sky is a canvas of fire and smoke. We lost more ships, including the Musashi. The sea is a graveyard of steel and flesh. Our anti-aircraft gunners are exhausted, their hands blistered from constant firing. The smell of burning fuel and scorched metal fills the air. The enemy's Grumman Hellcats and TBF Avengers strike in waves, their tactics precise and devastating. Our ships are high ablaze, the water reflecting the flames. The brutality of the enemy's air attacks is overwhelming. They exploit our weaknesses with surgical precision, their superior coordination and firepower leaving us little chance to regroup. I think of the politics that brought us here, the decisions made far from the battlefield, and the lives they cost. October 25th, 1944. Early morning. We engaged the US escort carriers of Summer at 0550 hours. Their planes swarmed us like angry bees. The destroyers and aircraft fought valiantly, but we inflicted some damage before retreating. The bravery of our sailors is unquestionable. The enemy's smaller ships, armed with torpedoes and depth charges, proved formidable adversaries. The smell of burned sailors haunts me. Salt water and tears. Midday. The reality of our situation is dire. Fuel and ammunition are running low. We have lost many ships and men. I ordered a withdrawal to regroup, but the cost has been immense. The sea is littered with the wreckage of our fleet, the cries of the survivors mingling with the roar of the waves. The enemy's air superiority is overwhelming. Their coordinated strikes leaving us little room to maneuver. Evening. Retreating through the Sibian Sea. The men's faces are weary, their spirits dampened. The enemy's air superiority is overwhelming. It's almost like they know every move we do. The smell of salt and gunpowder clings to us. We must find a way to fight back. The setting sun casts long shadows over the water. The silhouettes of our damaged ships stuck against the horizon. October 26, 1944. Evening. We limped back towards Brunei Bay. The battle has left us shattered. The might of the US Navy has proven too formidable. Our losses are grievous, and the future of our fleet is uncertain. Yet we must remain resolute. The Emperor and our homeland depend on our courage and sacrifice. The night is dark, the stars obscured by clouds of smoke. The air is heavy with the scent of loss and despair. Banzai! Banzai!